Hello and welcome to the Barbarian Investor Show. I'm Adam Jason and I'm delighted to be joined here today by Hamid Benyahia, the co-founder of Dether. Welcome, Hamid.
Hi, thank you.
So it's a pleasure to have you here. Dether, just to give everyone a bit of an overview of what you guys are doing, what you're aiming to do in the crypto world, what is Dether?
So Dether is a protocol that enables people to buy and sell cryptocurrency using cash and also accept it as a means of payment if you are, for example, like a physical shop.
Okay. So everyone's aware of Bitcoin. It's become very, very popular, arguably mainstream now. You guys are starting off with Ethereum as the cryptocurrency that people can purchase through your app. So what is Ethereum? If you could just give us, a high-level overview, what it is, and why would people be interested in buying Ethereum as opposed to Bitcoin, let's say?
Well, Bitcoin was first invented by Satoshi Nakamoto, and in his white paper he was describing it as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And so people would use it to transfer value or to be able to pay to buy items using Bitcoin. But today more and more people are considering using Ether because Ether was actually supposed to be able to pay gas within the system when you interact with the Ethereum blockchain. But actually people now consider using it because it's faster, it's cheaper to buy anything with it, to just pay with transactions, and also to participate in initial coin offerings, ICOs. So a lot of people all over the world are now associating Ethereum with Bitcoin, and we think that it's going to be a gate tomorrow in order to interact with any blockchain.
Okay, so are you banking on Ethereum to maybe take over Bitcoin and be the main cryptocurrency, or do you foresee a possibility of multiple cryptocurrencies existing? We can have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others that we could purchase through the Dether app, or are you going to stick with Ethereum as the only currency?
We're starting with Ethereum, so basically in 2 months you will be able to use Dether to buy and sell Ether with cash and accept it as a means of payment. But of course we'll also add other cryptocurrencies. So we think that Bitcoin also is very important today, especially because of its huge market cap. But the token market also is very interesting because we want to make it possible for everyone on Earth to buy and sell tokens using cash as well. So that it's very easy for anyone to just, use your phone and be able to interact with any decentralized applications, just like if you have cash.
Yeah, so this is one of the key things. I think a lot of people who are looking to get into this space and buy some crypto, it's quite confusing. It can be quite difficult figuring out how to use an exchange, how to use a wallet. So you're really aiming to simplify this whole process, right? And it's going to be a simple app on your phone and you can pay, I'd imagine, by card or bank transfer. Is that how it's going to work?
In the middle term, you will be able, yes, to use bank accounts or credit cards. But our main target are these people who remain unbanked, because today, if you're living in a Western country, it's basically really easy to buy cryptocurrency. It's time-consuming, it's a centralized process, but you can do it if you wait a couple days or weeks. But if you are an unbanked person, basically it's almost impossible for you to interact with any decentralized application. Even though a lot of them right now are being developed by many teams and they actually target these people. So we want to make it possible for them to actually use these decentralized applications by using Dether.
Okay, so this is a really important point because cryptocurrency, aside from all of the investment and speculation, really is opening up, a financial inclusion and revolution for, as you say, the unbanked, areas like Africa and underdeveloped nations. So how can you give an example of how someone in one of these countries might use Dether in order to purchase Ethereum and then use that Ether to help their situation or get some kind of loan or whatever they could do with it?
I like to take the example of my cousin because he once contacted me last year actually, during the DAO period. He was getting interested into Ethereum, and because he's from North Africa, and because the situation was politically tense over there, he wanted to build a decentralized social network, like Facebook but decentralized, so that people can freely speak using this platform. And he couldn't do it because he didn't have any Ether, so he had to ask for me to send him some Ether so that he can build it, because you gotta pay gas and stuff like this. So this is, I think, a really good example.
Yeah.
How do you fight censorship, for example, in countries like North Africa, if you basically exclude it from blockchain technology from the very beginning?
Yeah, and we're seeing obviously at the moment with Venezuela as well, the massive crackdown and huge demand for cryptocurrencies.
Exactly.
So that's fantastic. So in terms of the Dether kind of roadmap and where you guys are, so you have an alpha version that's live at the moment. What does your roadmap look like in terms of further development?
So we released the alpha 2 months ago. So it runs on Ethereum testnet, on Kovan testnet.
Yeah.
So far we have around 4,000 users all over the world who tried it. And the goal is to launch the mainnet version in March 2018, so that people can actually trade Ether for cash and also use the token, because we're going to launch a token, and people will be able to use the token within the app. So we don't want people to wait a long time before they buy the token, just 2 weeks or 3 weeks after they buy it, so that they can really use it within the app. And then we have a further roadmap for 4 to 5 years, so that we actually end up with a fully decentralized solution.
Okay, so you mentioned there you're issuing a token, you're doing an initial coin offering, which has been very popular over the last 6 months or so. It's a great way to raise funds for a new business. So the token, the Dether token, is that what it's going to be called?
DTH, or Dether. You can call
DTH,
it
okay. So the DTH token, rather than someone having to use fiat currency to buy ETH, they will buy presumably the DTH, and that will be the gateway to buying ETH and whatever else is available further down the road. Is that right?
It's kind of different actually, because we have what we call a premium utility token.
Okay.
We want to make it very simple for people to have access to cryptocurrency. So we thought that if you have a token, it could be a friction for them. If you have to buy the token, then to buy crypto, it's a huge barrier. But if you are a professional seller, so if you actually have crypto in your wallet, or if you are a physical shop and you have crypto as well, you can basically buy the token and stake it within the app to be more visible to buyers. So you can stake the token and book what we call a zone to be exclusively visible on it. We like to compare it to the Google page. You can be organically visible if you trade with us, for example. But if you want to be top visible, you can buy the token and stake it. And it also allows you to pay less fees if you use the token as well.
I see. So you're also building a network of actual physical retail stores that will be able to offer your services and sell their services through your app.
Exactly. So basically, they can either accept the crypto as a means of payment, or they can also trade crypto for fiat currency. So far we've listed 1,200 shops, mostly in Australia, and there's now more and more network of shops all over the world that get in touch with us because they actually won't accept crypto as a means of payment, because they know that for sure tomorrow is going to be a huge deal.
Okay, so to turn now to the Ethereum network, so it's still obviously a young, kind of development overall, and we've seen recently with CryptoKitties an example of huge demand kind of flooding the system and slowing it down a bit. So we know that there's many scaling solutions and some of them are being implemented already. Do you foresee within the next year or so that we're going to be in a situation where Ethereum can scale to way more transactions, and therefore we're not going to have any of these issues, and it will be easy for people to transact quite quickly on the Ethereum network?
Definitely, yes. I think the best way to judge a blockchain is by its community. And when we see how bigger and more active is getting the Ethereum community, I mean, for us, there's no doubt that's going to be the main one used tomorrow for these kind of applications. So there are some solutions right now. For example, we are very close to the Raiden team. They're working, on how to make it possible to actually have a lot of transactions per second, which is not the case right now. You cannot do it. So we think that could be a solution, for example, to use Ether as a means of payment in physical shops.
Okay, fantastic. And at the moment, people are obviously kind of holding or hodling, as they say, because the price is continuing to rise. How do you see the development from this kind of holding nature to actually people spending cryptocurrency? Do you think that the price just needs to stabilize for a long period, or do you think that there's some kind of development within the technology itself or the community at large that will lead to people spending cryptocurrency rather than just buying to accumulate?
I think it really depends on who you are. Like now, people who have access to cryptocurrency, like I was saying, are people mostly located in Western countries, and they basically can use the fiat currency to pay for anything in the world, and they're just holding some cryptocurrency for like trading or like for investment purposes.
Yeah.
But if you are someone who's like in Venezuela, and you actually are holding their fiat currency, it's like devaluated very easily. So you want to hold something else and also maybe then change it back to Venezuelan fiat currency to then maybe actually spend it there. But at the same time, if you see like a shop around you that accepts this cryptocurrency as a means of payment and you can easily use it, it's also your choice. So I think it's just like a balance between if you want to hold it more until there is like some stability in the system, or if you just want to spend it right now because you actually, maybe you are full crypto also as well.
Yeah, yeah, so, and there are many people like that.
Yeah.
So looking forward now, you're working, I understand, with Startup Token and Coincilium,
Yes.
and you're going to be heading off to Asia very shortly after this.
Exactly.
Is that right?
We're going back, actually, it's the second time we're going to Asia. So we're flying to Tokyo and Seoul because we think that there's a huge demand there for like projects like Dether that like create like bridges between fiat currency and cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
These nations have actually invested a lot in cryptocurrency since the very beginning, and now they're actually working on how to make it possible for everyone to have access to cryptocurrency and use it in digital solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. They're more advanced than many of the Western
Yes.
countries, right? So for people who want to take part in the ICO and buy DTH, can you give us the dates for the ICO? When should we be ready?
So it will take place February 7th. So basically it's going to be an open token sale. So we are actually whitelisting the participants. We want to make it like process that's very fair and open to a maximum of people. So it's going to be like a 0x system, where you will have like different rounds and you can actually participate, and there's going to be like a max cap per participant.
Right, fantastic. Well, best of luck and good luck in Asia as well. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from you again soon.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.